Well, all right. It is that time of the week. If you are watching this, then you're watching on YouTube, because I haven't started the stream yet. I'm getting my glove on and getting all prepped. So do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. And again, if you want to attend these live, then you need to jump up my Discord. Link's in the doobly-doo. And now I'm going to click on over there, and I'm going to fire it up and get myself into the proper space so that I can share my screen. There it is. Go live, and away we go. So, we are again on the we're still on curtain call, as I'm sure all of y'all are aware. We've been working on this for the past 2 weeks, and I have been doing some additional work this week as opposed to just continuing to work on this. I have got additional sketch work that I've done because there's stuff that I need to work on. And I have some additional rough sketches here working on various different stuff. You can see here I've been working on kind of the little chibi Gura that we've been seeing around, and working on that a little bit. Because that's a thing that's been going around, and I was thinking maybe I should work on that just to get kind of the rough idea of the form in. And also it's kind of fun. It's pretty simple. It's just like this kind of wall-eyed expression. And then you run the mouth all the way up in between the eyes. When you do the close around that. So there's the hood, and there's the little fins and whatnot. But that's not all that important. The major thing that I've been working on is, you can see right here, the neck. I've been working on how much of a neck Gura is supposed to have, because if you come into the reference, you just go to, well, if I turn that on, you can see Gura has rather a lot of just rather a lot of neck in there. So I need to be thinking about that, and in particular, I need to be thinking about how I'm going to properly present it in the outfit, because as you can see here, there's kind of this bit of the neck that's hidden behind there, and I do need to work on the I need to work on additionally the let me pull out face angles there. I need to work additionally on the, what was the thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, on the jawline. I don't do a good job on the jawline and just the general face shape for Gura. So I need to work on that. I need to work on her jawline, and especially the width. I need to get the width correct on that. I'm doing okay on the eyes, because they're pretty simple, really. And the nose, there's not much to it, and the mouth is not going to be that difficult. I keep forgetting there are teeth on the bottom. There are bottom teeth on the hood too. I forget about that. I need to remember that, because they also go up behind the hair there. And you just start thinking about the little flyaways and whatnot. But yeah, that's the stuff that I'm trying to work on here, is to get a better better read on how to do the neck, how to do kind of that setup, and also the jawline. I need to look more specifically at how Gura's profile jawline looks. And that's one of the reasons that I got the alternate outfit reference. But I definitely want to get a side view on this. And we've got a full ref sheet here, but it doesn't really have a side view. And I'm going to need to pull out some images. We have a bit of a side view here. You can see that she's got a pretty broad face.
Oh.
So I need to work on that.
There you go.
And get that taken care of. But I haven't really got a lot of side view reference for Gura. So because I don't have a lot of side view reference, I've just been kind of winging it and figuring it as I go. And let me see here. If I click all of my reference off. So the big thing that I'm working on is the amount of neck in there. And we've got kind of, when you think about the anatomy, we've got shoulder blades, and here's the shoulder right here. And she's got this really tall neck that needs to be accounted for. And I'm not entirely sure how far out the nose is supposed to come in profile. So I'm just kind of operating from feel on that and trying to get an idea of it. I did think about the actual anatomicals of the skull and whatnot. And I also kind of want to do a different angle on this. Because if you remember in the old rough sketch, what we've got over here is I've got her facing in the other direction, and I want to turn her around so she's still facing more or less in that direction, the way that the rest of the images are. So if we pull the construction out of that, what we're looking at is to have something kind of like this. And I've been working with a smaller pencil size, smaller brush size, and all of that, to try and rough out exactly how this is going to look. So I've been doing that kind of work, and we are still, as you've undoubtedly figured out, we're still on doing this curtain call challenge, and the curtain call challenge is obviously, it's like over. Nobody's posting these anymore. But I still think this will be funny, and because I still think this will be funny, and because I still want to finish it, I'm still fucking working on it. So people can just fucking deal with it. And what I've got working on right now is putting all of the stuff together, and I have sort of the Yonkomi format on the construction images. If I turn off the rough cuts, you can get kind of a better idea that, you know, you have the initial setup and you have the little kind of storyline that I've mentioned in previous weeks about, first she's like, hey, check out my rack. She doesn't have a rack. And then she's like, well, let me squeeze in so you can really see it. And she tries to emphasize that there's still nothing there. So she tries really hard to stretch it down and go, you know, if I make the shirt really tight, maybe it'll poke out. And no, it doesn't. And then she just kind of pulls up her shirt and looks, and there's nothing there. And of course, we cover up the nipples with the hands is the idea here. Yeah, and you can hear my my head moderator in the background laughing about this. Because it's fucking funny.
It's funny as heck, man.
And this is the direction that I want to go with it, and I'm really kind of happy with the progress I've made on it so far, but it's nowhere near done. And I'm just looking at this and I'm going, you know, on some level, I've done better at this than I have done with any previous Gura pictures I've ever done. So I'm like, hell yeah, I could post this. But no, it's not done yet. Number one, I don't have any colors at all, although I do still have the rough palette kind of set up over there. I don't have any colors in it at all, and I need to make this a little bit cleaner and have better quality line art. That's that's very important in this whole process.
The lengths you go for memes, okay?
This isn't just for the meme, though. It's also because it's because not only do I think this will be funny, it's a lot of shit that I need to work on. It's like there's a tremendous amount of work that goes on in this in terms of just like, number one, just getting the details right on the hat. Getting the details right on the hat, getting the little fins correctly on her hood, getting the teeth on the top and bottom, and just kind of like remembering all of this stuff, and also getting all of the poses correctly, and really getting that kind of story to come through. Like getting the appropriate curve in her back here, which is the... what do they call it? There's actually a name for this pose. There's a name for the... there is a name for that pose where girls really kind of like thrust their legs forward at an angle and lean back really far. There's a... God, what is it? What is it called?
Cool. Talking. Okay.
I'm trying to... trying to get the... I have it listed somewhere. I have it in... I have it in one of the books that I bought in that huge bundle from... who was it? From GOG.com. I bought this huge bundle of like how to draw shit off of that. And
didn't you pin that link somewhere or something?
Yeah, but it was on special, and the special's over.
Well, I don't really care if it's on special or not. It's just I want to know where to find it, so I have something to go.
Well, it was a bundle, and the bundle's no longer available. There's a limited time bundle, so the link doesn't work anymore that I know of.
Where can you buy the books individually? That's my question.
Well, yeah, you can.
Well,
a lot of them are crap, though. That was one of the things that I ran into with it was out of all of the books that I got in that particular sale, the best one I got is one called Manga Drawing Deluxe. That may be the one that actually says what this pose is. If I flip through there. And it's actually really, really good. And you could probably get it in an actual physical paper format, too. But where's the name of that pose? I feel like it would be in here. I feel like this. Yes, that is it. The Yasuhiko Dachi. And let's see. It's a unique pose created by the first Gundam character designer.
Oh my gosh. These guys do not know anything about visual novels. These guys are dumbasses.
Which guys?
Gaming Next News. They're not putting the characters for the specific for the specific visual novels for the actual novels. So you're saying the 10 best visual novels, and I'm like, this is not the visual novels that you're trying to say.
Okay.
One of them was House of Fata Morgana.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah,
they're putting Demon Slayer on it, and Naruto, and I'm like, Long Live the Queen. Well, Steins Gate is a visual novel, but and they're putting that famous high school anime and the gosh of that, I don't know, but
ooh, I don't want to. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do.
Is that? that's a good way to pass out. Because you're locking your knees.
It's just a pose in a manga, dude.
I've seen it happen. I'm just saying. I've seen cadets just boom, taste the floor.
Well, that's not really a way that real people ever stand, you know? That's the entire point. Like I was saying, this is a pose created by the first Gundam character designer, and it was wildly popular for some reason. And many artists use the pose with varying degrees of exaggeration. I actually saw this. I saw it in Ray Zero because Amelia stands like this a lot. She wears that big kind of kind of bell-shaped skirt. You know?
Yeah.
She wears that big skirt that comes down like this, but you can see from like where her feet are and the way her calves come up into the skirt, you know, you can see she's standing in pretty much this exact same pose.
Let me find her standing.
Well, it's not really that important. I mean, all I'm really saying is that's the kind of pose that I want here for this little image of Gura. The second one in the row, which I think is on this layer. Yeah, that's the one. So for this pose right here, I want more of a curve in her stance. That's the direction that I want to go with that. So it's like right here, I want her to stand with that sort of same swoop to the body line. Because she's being ridiculous. She's trying to stretch backward and go, no, really, there's something here. And there's not.
There's not.
Because she's hydrodynamic.
Yep.
I mean, be honest. Have you ever seen a shark with tits? No, there's no such fucking thing. Sharks don't have tits.
Hey. No giving Rule 34 ideas, okay?
Dude, do you really think the R34 artists need ideas about Gura? Honestly, how many times have I complained there was altogether too much R34 content of Gura? I mean, seriously, I am running out of disk space. Although I did recently clean off some space, so I have moved stuff around, so I've got space to store things, but right now things are okay, but I did have to shuffle things around and move a lot of stuff to, my portable removable drive. But there was a sketchy moment there where I was like, I'm gonna run out of space here. You fucking R34 artists, you keep doing all this Gura stuff. And what am I supposed to do,
We're out of space. Maybe I should send you a new hard drive for Christmas or something.
Nah, I'm fine. I got plenty of space. I have roughly 5 terabytes of backups for shit I never use and don't need. And a lot of it's duplicated. I just need to spend multiple hours going through it, I mean, it's like I've got an archival drive over here. It's 4 terabytes and it's got just over 700 gigs free. And then I've got my removable has 51 gigs free of 2 terabytes. And then I have an additional data drive that has 300 gigs free of 4 terabytes. I've got a bunch of space, and it's full with a lot of garbage. So, getting the garbage off of there is a thing that I need to be working on. But anyway, that's kind of the broad sketch of what I'm trying to do here. in terms of the final piece. But the big issue on this particular bit is this pose here. It's facing the wrong direction because I have her facing head on, and she really needs to be turned to the side, which is something that I've kind of done over here on this image right here. This bit I've got her turned to the side.
Isometric, something similar to that, but different.
No, it's just a 3/4 view.
Quarter. Okay, 3/4 view. Okay.
Isometric specifically refers to a type of computer graphics rendering where everything is, all of your horizontal lines are tilted 30 degrees to give them a fake 3D look. And it makes the maths easier when you're actually rendering stuff on screen. So you see that in a lot of games from back in like the 80s and 90s, and even the early 2000s, really. But you know, when you're just drawing, you don't really think of things in an isometric view unless you're actually drafting. When you're doing drafting, then yeah, you have an isometric view because that's designed to help you show all three views of a particular image. You can see the front and you can see the side and you can see the top with minimal distortion. You still have a little distortion because, you know, it's not perfectly square, it's not perfectly straight on, but it minimizes the distortion, and that's the way we've been doing it since, God, the 1820s, I think, is when that really first came into style. But that's typically an architectural draftsman CAD thing.
I brought it up because I was screwing around with CAD a couple days ago. I was trying to figure out how to use it. It's complicated, not something I'm used to, but I'm familiar.
The thing about an isometric view, if you look at this little image of Gura right here, okay, the angles are kind of like this. All right, this is kind of the angles that you're looking at with the image of Gura, but this angle here is steeper than this angle here. Whereas in an isometric viewpoint, those angles are exactly alike, and they're about 30 degrees on both sides. So you got 30 degrees there, and your verticals are still vertical. But because it's only a 30-degree shift upward, then as you draw all of the little bits and pieces on both sides, you don't get a whole lot of squashing, because it's like over here, it's like a window of the same size would look like this over here, and then over here, it would look significantly narrower. So it wouldn't look like they were the same size, and if you made them the same size, the window on this side would actually be much wider. So they do isometric a little bit differently to minimize distortion for when you're doing floor plans and architecture and that sort of thing. So that's what that's for.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And when you're working with actual any kind of actual photographic realism, then what you're working with is you're working with a kind of a two-point perspective. So it's like where your vertical is dictates where your vanishing points go, and that's what everything ends up looking like. Of course, this would be going toward that vanishing point because the way that I've drawn this has got your box kind of sitting up on the horizon line, where in this particular case, the horizon line would be way up here because you're kind of looking down at her. Okay? So your vanishing points would be going more like this. But you're still looking straight on. You're not looking at an angle, so you end up with kind of that box going on. I've been doing a lot of looking into various perspective bits, and I picked up a couple of books on it by Marcus Mathieu Mestre. It's Framed Perspective, volumes 1 and 2, and these are specifically for perspective as used in comics, because everything that I do is comic and manga style. I don't really do a lot of photorealistic stuff, but when I do work on photorealistic stuff, you know, I got the Bern Hogarth for that. I got the I got the artistic anatomy, the various other things. Another wonderful, wonderful thing that I picked up is this massive book that's like all of the really cool artwork from Dungeons and Dragons manuals and shit. So it's a great reference for drawing cool shit. And because I do a lot of martial arts style stuff, I got the Ninja Turtles. You gotta have the Ninja Turtles. How can you not have the Ninja Turtles? So yeah, I have a substantial library of shit to look to for this. But yeah, those two books on perspective, those are really good, and they cover it really well. I had a planned series I was going to do, kind of like teaching how perspective works. And then when I got those books, I was like, man, they're actually covering the exact same shit I was going to cover in that series, and they cover it better. There's a lot of stuff I never saw anybody talk about in terms of how perspective works, like why 3-point perspective is even a thing. Nobody ever really talks about that. But that's kind of the thing there. I've been working on being able to do kind of the 3/4 perspective and whatnot. And the big issue with this is because her head is facing down, because she's looking down to kind of try and look at her chest and see what the hell's going on down there, because nothing's going on down there. Because she's got her head tilted down, then you have to think about how to locate the features on her face and the various bits and pieces of her clothing, like the teeth on the hood and all of the features on the hood and how the fins look from that angle. And you really don't see that anywhere in any reference images of Gura. There's no official art that will show you that because she never does that. So you have to kind of figure it out. You have to extrapolate, and the way that you do that is by using a straight-on side view, which let me click that off, and we'll work on this layer. Do we want to work on this layer, or is it this layer? I don't know what that layer's for. Oh, that's the one that popped up because I pasted the image of my hentai drive. But yeah, we can delete everything that's on this. None of that's useful. But the thing is that, like, if you draw just a straight-on side view of the head, okay? And this is kind of crappy, but let me back that up a little bit. So you start with like the cranial unit, and then here you get the jawline, and then that comes up, and then there's the nose, and that's kind of the shape of your head. So what you do is you transform this, and you go, well, I want that head to be looking down. And you just tilt it to point down at the angle that you want it, okay? And now that you've done that, now you know where the top of your head is. And you know where the bottom of your chin is, and you can project, here's the mouth, looking at it straight on, that's where the mouth has to be, that's where the nose has to be, the eyes right here, okay, you know where the eyes have to be, and you've got all of this space up here is all like top of the head, so you've got everything compressed into this space, but you locate horizontally on the face. In order to compress all of this,
reference designs,
right,
they use for making anime characters, the reference artwork.
Yeah, but even using the reference artwork, you're not going to get this deep perspective. The way you get that deep perspective is you tilt the side view downward at the level you want, and then you project the features across. And projecting the features across, you can locate the top of the eyes, the bottom of the eyes, and you can see exactly which part of the eye is where. Okay? And by doing that, you can locate things appropriately. That's a trick that I got out of Hogarth's drawing the human head, I think. Yeah. And he actually does it with a whole lot of stuff. It's like he does a bunch of various projections and whatnot from the side. Oh man. It just occurred to me virtually all of these books are flood damaged. Like, not a lot, but just a bit. God damn it. That's really obnoxious. But, let's see if I can locate the projection of the site. I think it was toward the end of Dynamic Anatomy where he's talking about the figure in deep space. And he does this kind of box projection. Yeah, right here. Projecting the side view of the figure to achieve the foreshortened figure. And he's got this, which page is this on? 236. I can probably find that. I can probably find that on my Kindle copy of this. So let me pull that up. So if I pull up the library and I go to my copy of Dynamic Anatomy, which is under Classical. So it's back, yeah, right here. So this is the perspective tracking to hold proportions. And that's projecting the side view of the figure to get the foreshortened view. And Hogarth goes over this in a whole lot of detail. Well, not in this book, but he goes over it in a great deal of detail when he's talking about drawing the human head and locating the features on the face. But you can see, like, regardless of which angle you're drawing the figure at, okay, all of the vertical landmarks still have to be at the same place. It's like the hip is still at the same place, and the right. Hold on a second here. It's like the hip is still at the same place, and the bottom of the chin is still at the same place. Top of the head at the same place. This elbow is at the same place. All of the different vertical landmarks still have to come at the exact same place. Your knees have to be at the same place. Your heels at the same place. All of that stuff goes together like that, regardless of which angle you decide to view it from. So that's where I got that from, and that's how I've been projecting over and kind of getting the viewpoint of Gura looking down, and it kind of went from the front view to the side view, and then I looked at the side view and I projected that over to get kind of the 3/4 view over here. But the big issue that I'm running into with this is just the kind of just the iterative nature of it. I'm not used to refining sketches to the level that I'm trying to do with this. Like here on the construction, I have sort of everything together, but this bit here, this part of the construction, I need to pull that off of there. Let me get that with the rectangle tool there. And what I want to do is I want to cut and paste that, and this is just the most awesome thing about Clip Studio Paint. I just go bam, and that actually gives me a copy of all of that stuff. And if I turn off the original stuff, you can see that just this bit that I chopped out of there, just that bit has all been located over here on its own folder with its own series of layers. All of the layers are maintained. They all have their same settings, their same transparency, all of that. So that's all right there. And if I turn the regular construction back on, I can take this stuff that I just pulled out and I can go, okay, I'm done with that. So that can go away and I can just pull it off of there and we're fine. You know, we've got all of that stuff has now been sectioned off, and it's saved. I don't lose it, but I now have space where I can put the new concept of what the fourth bit is going to look like. Because what I want it to look like is, I want her to be looking over to this side and not just kind of, well, I should be drawing on this at full opacity at this point. So what she needs to be doing here is just kind of looking down. And that needs to be a bit more of a downward spread. And she's got to have her hands up here holding the shirt all bunched up. And she's just looking down at absolutely nothing. And then, of course, she's got some modesty shorts on, because I can't find any definitive reference on whether she wears modesty shorts under the hoodie or whether it's standard pantsuit. I haven't found any reference on that. I've gone looking for it. I've seen fan art, but fan art isn't definitive. I don't really know what her preference is on that. So I'm going to assume modesty shorts. I'm just going to go, hey, you know, modesty shorts are good. She could wear those. Those would work out well. And of course, we have her hair, and these little locks of hair would be falling down out of there. And then we'd have kind of, there's her eyes and the nose. And we wouldn't really be able to see much of her mouth. But we need to get the idea that she's looking down. So that's the important element there, is that she's looking down at her non-existent chest line. Now if I take that rough line art off of there, wow, I have two rough line art. That one was off before, so okay. Huh. That would need to go under the... That would need to go on the other... God damn it. That should go in there. Okay, and then that goes away, which is fine. Okay, so here we are on the rough liner, and what we need with... we need here is, I'm looking at just the blue. I don't have anything on the blue for anything, so, okay, so I need an initial rough line art, which is on here, and it ends up. So what we want is, is this the right? Why is this? Oh, it's because I haven't actually selected that layer. Okay, so what we want here is we want her looking down. That's much too large a pen. So I want her kind of looking down, and because she's looking down, we got kind of the nose sticking out here, and here's the chin line, and she's leaning over, and she's got maybe we do a little frowny bit off to the side, because that'll be cute. It's very important. It's Gura. She has to be cute. She has to be terribly, terribly cute. She has to be absolutely, insufferably cute. No matter what she is doing, she is incredibly cute. Cute is her brand. Cute and feet. Those are the two elements of her brand. And actually, I need to think there's a neck down here that needs to be accounted for. See, I'm already screwing up and not accounting for the neck. So these shoulders need to be farther down. And we've got these rumpled, up here, the collar needs to really rumple up because this is very thick fabric. It's a hoodie, okay? It's got some real weight to it. So it's kind of like, it's very kind of thick woolen fabric, and it bunches up and folds in particular ways that thinner fabric doesn't, because you see, thinner fabric will give you these kind of very fine crumply folds, but when you've got really thick fabric, it bunches and makes these really big folds. So that's got to be taken into account. You really have to kind of get across that the fabric is very thick and warm. And then here we've got the crumpled up. And we need to make sure that the arm is far enough over that, you know, it's not that she has no nipples, it's that her arm is covering her nipples. So she's kind of got everything lifted up and she's covering everything. But the only thing there is just a nipple. But you can't see it because she's covering it, because modesty, you know. We don't want to be lewd. We don't want to be lewd with Gura. There are altogether too many Gura lewds. So we've got kind of this last moment here where she's looking down and going, "What the fuck? There's nothing here. Why isn't there anything here?" So that's kind of the direction I want to go with that, is to kind of have her turn to the side. She needs to be a little more to the side. This is still not good enough. This is still... This isn't the right pose. That's not the way I want it. She needs to be turned a little bit more. So it's kind of just like these other ones. There needs to be kind of this sort of this tilt going on. So this is the front plane of the body. And with that being the front plane of the body, and we've got to put the neck there, and she's got her head down. So it's kind of this look. And here's the one eye. Here's the nose. Nose needs to be sitting farther down. And there's a little frowny, unhappy look. That is about the right angle right there. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. And then here's the crumpled, rumpled collar, and there's the other crumpled, rumpled collar, and then here is here's a hand that is crumpling everything up, and here's the other hand that is crumpling everything up. There's everything all crumpled up, and the rumply, crumply outfit that she's pulled up around her chin. And there's the tummy button. Gotta have the tummy button. Ask Katrina about that. She knows about me and tummy buttons. They're important. So that's the rough end of how that needs to look. Then we get the eyes and the little nostrils and the three little gills, And then we have the tail out in the back. And the tail needs to be just kind of flopping down. You know, it's the side that's sewn on. There's the side with the bite out of it. Okay. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for on that. That's the pose that I'm trying to work out on that one. And this is it's more or less what I'm trying to go for. I can turn off this rough cut. No, I don't want to turn that off completely. I want to.
I would bring the chin in a little bit more, and bring down the eyes down. This
is a rough sketch, dude.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's just it.
This is not a position to be second guessing anything. This is just the rough sketch. Everything is going to be refined. Everything is going to be moved around. All of that needs to be a little lower. That needs to be a little closer. That needs to be a little farther apart. That is for much, much farther down the road. We don't even have color on this yet. It's not. We don't even have the flats in on this. So we've got more or less all of the bits and pieces laid out about where I want them. That's the detailed one, right? Okay. So here's where I have to start really thinking about stuff like exactly where hair ends up going. Hair ends up going there. This hair is kind of falling down. Okay, she's got her head down. And this, let's see. And because she's got her head down, it's kind of pushing into the chin strap there. So we would have the chin strap up a little bit higher. But it'd be under the chin. Her chin would be coming over the chin strap because she's trying to peer over it. So yeah, that would...
Do have boots.
What?
Basically, she's looking basically at nothing.
Well, right. I mean, she's looking down, and there's nothing there to look at, but...
Reminds me of actually Simpsons episode a little bit.
Okay.
Can't remember. It was a long time ago. When Marge had surgery for something, and the plastic surgeon just grew her breasts up in size instead of reducing them or something. I don't know what it was, but it was a long time ago.
I don't watch The Simpsons, so I don't fucking know. I used to watch The Simpsons back in like the first couple of years, but then I kind of got tired of it. I mean, I remember The Simpsons when they were the interstitials between sketches on the Tracy Ullman show. So it's like The Simpsons have been a fixture in my life from like way back. And it's like after 40 years or however fucking long it is that they've been on the air, I'm kind of tired of them. And I never really felt like they were doing anything groundbreaking, you know? I mean, I like Matt Groening. The Life is Hell comics he used to do, those are great. And the Jeff and Akbar comics are fantastic. And he used to do some great political stuff. But The Simpsons just were not the big thing for me that they are for so many other people. Now, because she's pulling this up, it's still falling down over here. It's kind of gathered up, but it is still kind of falling down from under her arm over here. So it's probably still visible in the back there. And you got to bear in mind that there's the white bit, and the blue kind of fades out at that point. That's going to be really tough to do with the crumpled up bit when she's got that like pulled up. That's going to be difficult to get across. But can't be helped.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe we have her looking like almost all the way down, and the only thing you see is the eyes and the tip of the nose, and there's no mouth at all. So it's just like almost all just the top of her head, and then just a pair of eyes down around here. So we put that down around there. That's like, she's just like looking down like right here. No, I don't like the look of that. That's more of a, that would be more of a tilt the head and just kind of look down, just kind of a, it's not like really craning her neck to look down. But that'd really put a crunch in here. And if you put that real crunch in there, then, you know, that's going to bow her body inward this way. And that creates like wrinkles and fat rolls, and that's not pretty. And we wanted to keep her spine upright and her belly taut and tight and stretched, because that's the way people want to look at chicks, you know. Not because there's anything wrong with them leaning over and getting the little belly rolls and whatnot. Those are cute, but just having her just kind of look down and go, there's nothing here. Well, shit. So she didn't have to tilt her head that far down. That's about right. But definitely we want that tail to be like all the way down and just kind of flopped on the floor. Like, well, shit. The real issue,
tree, so
the real issue on this is going to be all of the wrinkles in the clothes and really getting it across that she's kind of scrunched her hoodie up under her chin to look down. That's going to be the hard part. And getting the proportions right on her tail, that's going to take some work, because it's awfully thin down here at the end, and it's awfully thick up here at the top. And I want to get that to look right. I really sort of, we want the tail up high in this leftmost image, and then we want it kind of down about mid-level here, and then we want it dipping down but still curling up at the end in the third image, and then just straight falling down to the floor in the last image. Because, like I was saying in the past couple episodes, it's the way that a cat's tail works. A cat's tail is up high when it's happy, and it drops down low when it's sad or upset or worried. So it's the same thing here, where it's just like, at first she's like, hey, check me out, and her tail's way up. And then as she goes, no, wait, there's nothing to check out, the tail drops lower and lower until it's just flat and limp. Like a guy's dick. He feels good about himself, it stands straight up. Doesn't feel good about itself at all.
Disappointing girl.
If you imagine the position of Gura's tail as Gura getting a boner, suddenly a lot of stuff gets a lot worse that you've seen on previous clips.
Oh, God,
wow!
No,
yeah, that's
no, not girl. No,
I didn't want to.
She would totally do that, but come on.
Don't worry, sharks can't get boners. They don't have bones. Their skeletons are made of cartilage. I'm not going to get any additional productive work done on this tonight. But I made progress. I'm reasonably happy with the progress. Not a whole lot to stick on Instagram. But I got something, which is better than nothing. I think. I hope this is better than nothing.
I don't know.
So, oh shit. First of all, we're gonna. Well, this is still. This is still okay there, and then we got to do a PNG format. Save, and this has got to be curtain call 3, because we've already got a curtain call 2, so 3, and we're going to set this to original aspect ratio. I don't know why it's constantly trying to make it the older aspect ratio. Next. Nope, no filters, no adjustments. Redid the final pose from a different angle, which I like better. Need more reference and research next week. And yep, that'll be it. Go ahead and whack share, and now I will run away from Instagram as fast as I can. Do have 2 likes on the old one. Oh wow, Keith found me, apparently. I don't know why I have 200 followers on Instagram. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why do people follow me on Instagram? Everything I do is crap. Yeah, but okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop recording. Those of you watching this on YouTube, do the little YouTube dance, as I mentioned at the beginning. Hit like, hit comment, subscribe, ring the bell icon, all of that shit, if you want to. I can't make you. You don't have to. But, it would be cool. And that'll be that, and I will see you next week. Or maybe I'll actually record some videos during the week again. Maybe I'll actually get some Minecraft content out. instead of spending all of my time cutting down trees and moving shit around and burning the burn pile and all that.